Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Breaking the top 10 and number 10 on my 100 favorite films is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Welcome to Long Play Video. Yeah, here we are down at the shop on a nice sunny Saturday afternoon. It's episode 91, so we all know that we've now got to number 10 on my list of favorite 100 films. We're here. We made it. The top 10. I would say with a small caveat that one of the films in the top 10 at the moment has to drop out of the top 10 because I have Return of the King at number 10. So
Wow.
no, I look through these films and just a bit worried about that. What's gonna
What's the
drop
next
out?
available space
Gonna
then? Is
be-
that 11?
It's 13 at the moment,
Ooh.
but
Unlucky for one of
I
these
think
10.
it's probably 12. I would say because I think we're going to Return of the Jedi is going to be 11 and Return of the King is going to be at 10. So it's probably going to be Chef that moves one up because these are films that I like at the moment more than Chef. So we'll have to see what happens.
Wow, I don't know what's going to happen. It's an enigma, this list. It's like a vortex. Once you're inside it, you have no idea what's going to happen.
It's an enigma wrapped in something. So here we are, number 10. So we go all the way back to 1986 to celebrate Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Amazing.
Obviously starring Matthew Broderick, directed by John Hughes, written by John Hughes. Kev.
What more do you need?
Plum 80s movie, presumably. Well, where is it in your 80s pantheon? There's no explosions, so.
It's a good point. There aren't really any explosions. Yeah, it's a very good film, isn't it? Like, it's so good, and especially as when you're younger and you're watching this, and you're like the idea of just being able to take a day off school and do whatever you wanted was what I mean, just magic. You're like, oh my god, that was so good, and you think about what you would do. I think it's very good. I think all the characters work well in it. I'm be interested to see if it still holds up, because I remember there are some bits that slow it down a little bit, and I wonder if they'll end up slowing it down a lot or not. But I mean, John Hughes as well, you can't really go wrong, can you? So, pretty impressive, isn't it? I mean, was this before Toy Soldiers? Is this Broderick's first big break?
Not Toy Soldiers, War Games.
Well, War Games, War Games, yeah.
No, it's after War Games.
Well, okay.
And I would say yeah. But I mean, after this, I'm not sure the sort of fall from grace. I'm not sure there's many people who have gone from Ferris Bueller, War Games to Cable Guy and Inspector Gadget in quite the same way. You sort of, I think he's even on record to sort of say he plays basically the coolest kid ever, and then he just gets roles as damaged grown-ups after that, and men who just aren't fulfilling their potential.
What happened?
And he really does pretty much nothing after that. I mean, obviously, his definitely his biggest thing after this is Lion King being Simba.
Oh wow!
And then he's just in nothing. And again, where he is when it is him rather than kind of voice acting. He's not cool. He's never does anything. And he's done a lot of theatre, and he likes living in New York and stuff. Funnily enough, I did actually see him once in New York.
We've all got our own stories.
Yeah, it's just like you and Doug.
Yeah.
So
did you chat to him?
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, saw him in Brooklyn. Funnily enough, and we're like, look, there's Matthew Broderick. It's not someone that you get particularly excited about when you see. You're just like, okay.
From the coolest guy to no one wants to even know you.
Yeah, exactly. And so then I was sort of thinking about like what the trajectory of him could have been,
Well,
and I wondered if he sort of stays on the same trajectory, does he take over from Hanks? Did Hanks kind of take his career almost, because it's that still like, sort of friendly,
yeah,
like nice guy. You could imagine him
geeky.
in Big. You
Yep.
could imagine him like I think then like
Yeah.
Saving
Splash.
Private Ryan, like a dramatic role. Yeah, could he have done that? But yeah, you can definitely imagine him in
Does
all
Tom
the
Hanks
early
do that?
Hanks.
Is it a terrible film?
Yeah, no,
You
is
know, is it
yeah.
actually pointless and no one should watch it?
He does okay with that. I mean, obviously, like then his dramatic roles of Philadelphia,
Yeah,
the
he's good in
bad
Philadelphia.
Hanks that you don't like when he takes over, starts saving the world.
Yeah,
But I just thought, well, there's a lot of overlap.
that's true.
I think
I guess the
in
ages would be similar as well, right?
yeah,
Because you're
yeah,
right,
sort of
he would have done
coming
the
up around the same
Burbs,
time.
and he did, Big,
He'd fit
Splash.
into the Burbs, wouldn't he? Like
Yeah,
easily.
for sure. And then you think, could Hanks have done this? Do you think he could have done Ferris Bueller?
I think I
don't
don't honestly. I don't think he could have been. He
No.
would have been cool enough. Like
I
he was
agree,
still
yeah,
quite
same.
sort of geeky and awkward
Yeah.
as a sort of younger actor. I think sort of
Yeah,
like
I agree. I don't think
bachelor
he could have
party
done
and
it.
stuff. He's still not cool. So yeah, it's a
Oh.
very strange career. One of the strangest pieces of research that I found out is that he was offered the role of Johnny Utah in Point Break, and you just
Wow.
think, how on earth would that have
Wow.
worked? Because he's just not athletic. Like he's not an athletic guy. I just don't.
But
I just don't understand
Ferris
what they
Bueller
were.
he is. He does a bit of running. He's
Well, funnily
bit of
enough, he
dancing.
actually he got injured when he did the running at the end.
No.
They filmed that out of sequence, and apparently he actually pulled a muscle or something. Yeah, something happened. He had to have a couple of weeks off. So,
Blimey.
but he's not. I mean, he's not Keanu, is he? So yeah, I
Oh.
don't. Yeah, that must have been a very different film that they were thinking. I think Bigelow always wanted Keanu. I think that's that's what they've always said. But yeah,
Yeah.
imagine him. That's a deep fake that just makes Point Break a bit weird as reverse deep fake. So
Yeah, like I could imagine, like you're saying, deepfaking Broderick into some of the Hanks films, but
Yeah.
I don't know. And I could even picture Keanu being deepfaked into this one just to get a bit ahead of ourselves. But I can't imagine, Broderick doing Point Break. Can you imagine like Broderick and Swayze? I can't see that working.
No, it would have been super weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's
Well.
let me just throw you across the DVD for you to take a look, because I think it's an interesting.
It's a classic 80s.
It's a classic 80s. Just him.
His face on the entire. And that's when you've
But
got
then
to be a big bankable actor, haven't you? Because you're like, and leisure rules, and that's it. It just says Ferris Bueller's Day Off, one man struggle to take it easy. This was back in the day when you didn't have options, so you just went to see films and knew nothing about them, or pleasantly surprised when you got there. Whereas now you watch the trailer and it has all the best bits in it, and you go and watch the film and wonder why you bothered because you saw the trailer.
What I thought was interesting though is it says one man struggle to take it easy.
Yeah.
And I do think, like, obviously we talked about it a little
Three
bit
people,
with
really,
Breakfast
isn't it?
Club to pump up the volume.
Yeah.
So that, like, okay, well, Breakfast Club is just like high school and the kids, and then Pump Up the Volume is like when the teenage world kind of breaks into the adult world.
Yeah.
And in this, they do almost sort of act as sort of grown-ups. I wouldn't say that this is, even though you've got the school bit and obviously like you've got the teacher going after him.
Yeah.
For me, this isn't almost a teen comedy, like, because the things that they're doing are like are almost sort of like
Like
20-year-old things to do. Like they're driving, they're going to fancy restaurants, they're going to the stock exchange. Like they're not going to the playground, or they're not doing hanging out and smoking, or something that would be very sort of teenage. So I think that's interesting. That almost I mean obviously it's a John Hughes film, but I don't think of this as like a teen or even like a high school film, because just like you've got the teacher going after him, and you've got the sort of the first 10 minutes when they're in the high school, but I just don't they are quite old. I mean, I think old Alan Ruck, I think, is like 29 or something in this. But jeez. I mean, let's face it, they all say that's what they used to do. So I wouldn't put this in the same bracket as like a Breakfast Club or all of them, like Some Kind of Wonderful and stuff like that. I just wouldn't. It's separate for me. It's not a high school movie, and
it doesn't.
When I think of it,
when you think about what they do, it isn't the same, is it? But it's fun, isn't it? Because you still think, like, as a young person, you're like, it would still be so much fun to do all these things. So and maybe that's the why it works so well, because there's a breadth of demographics where it doesn't really matter what age you are from, whatever to whatever. You'd love to have a day off school, work, college, whatever, to go and do these things. And so actually, that's why it becomes so transferable. So and
I think that him as a character, I think that's kind of why he works so well as a character, is because he's not one thing. Like, he's not in the cool gang. He's not, he's not a jock. He's like they even make the point of, well, everyone just thinks that he's cool. Yeah. And then with the age kind of being, he could realistically be anywhere from sort of 17 to 25, and this kind of still works. And so I do think it is like that wish fulfillment of just having a completely free day and going to do cool stuff, which I would say I've copied a fair amount. I've had 4 or 5 times where I've had a day of fun where I've
been
organised 4 or 5 things.
Singing,
my singing, taking over the Notting Hill Carnival, that sort of thing. Nice. But no, just like arranged for like 4 or 5. I mean, they managed to do an unfeasibly large amount of things in one day. That's I've always tried to get there, and I've never had a Ferrari. But like that, I do think that's kind of, it is just pure wish fulfillment that almost anyone can sort of see themselves in, because he's just, I mean, obviously he's a very wealthy white man, but it is also just like he's just sort of the embodiment of doing stuff, because also he doesn't, like, his character isn't the one that develops, and I think that's that's also just sort of quite interesting that he is the same at the beginning of the film and at the end of the film, but other people around him develop, like Cameron's character develops, sort of most. Jeannie, actually, Jennifer Grey, she really develops. Unfortunately,
it's almost you're right. He's there. He's like so confident in who he is that he's seeing those people around him, and he's trying to help those people get to where they want to be as well. You're right. He's almost facilitating them. Which is why if you go into the Ferris hole sphere on the internet, some people think that it's a Fight Club scenario where Cameron actually has invented Ferris to actually do it, because a lot of the film is from Cameron's point of view, and obviously he knows when he calls back and says you're not going to die, and how would he know that? But I do think that is kind of interesting.
Part of it is that he's like the Rock, and it's a bit weird because he's kind of the hero, like, or main character of the film, obviously, because it's called Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But he doesn't have a problem to overcome, or he doesn't have that journey. He doesn't have that hero's journey, which I think is also why it's also almost so much fun, that you can just sort of go on the ride. And almost like you're going on the ride with him in the same way that the characters in the film are. So therefore, you're not worried about him as the main character, and you kind of then go in, and that like ease and coolness and everything working out for him is obviously what everyone would want. So,
and I think you with the John Hughes factor as well, like he just. When he makes a good film, he makes a good film. Like, he's just the elements that he puts together, the right use of music, the right cast in the right way. And I think that all really helps, right? It makes it such a fun, enjoyable film. Like, you don't get caught up in but they wouldn't have enough money. How would they do? It's like, well, that's not the point. It's just you're supposed to be having a bit of fun. So I think that's one of the things. That happens in almost all John Hughes films, right? Like the same with like Home Alone. But they would be dead after the first trap. It's like, don't worry about it. Move on.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
No, and this soundtrack as well. Like, the music in this film is just iconic,
so
and definitely takes you back to it. And then he does it. You have the graphics on the screen. You have the breaking of the fourth wall. Like, you have things that actually they just didn't do a lot in movies. And then I think after this, a lot of movies try it, but actually it doesn't work most of the time.
Yeah,
it's so difficult to again bring the viewer in and sort of just talk directly to the camera and it not be sort of cheesy and a bit weird. But again, you're on the journey with him, with them. You're kind of in the car with them. And you're worried about Cameron in the same way that he's worried about Cameron, and I think that's where it sort of does really well, is that he's so strong. He doesn't need to develop as a character, because that's kind of the point. And then takes you on the journey. He's like the guide in the journey rather than like it's his journey in a lot of ways. So.
Yeah, I guess that does seem to give you more credence to the Fight Club scenario. In that he's just so cool, everyone loves him, he's so happy, nothing's wrong in his life. So you're like, maybe this is a manifestation. Maybe this isn't a real person.
But that's that's the wish fulfillment, and that's the certainly watching this as a teenager, where you're just like, oh wow, it just. He doesn't have any angst. He doesn't worry about anything. It's complete just wish fulfillment of, wow, that just, looks cool and fun. And you don't have to, again, as you say, like, you don't have to worry about, oh, well, where did he get the money from? Or, would that really happen? It's just...
How did he get from here to here? The traffic would have been awful. It would never have happened. Don't worry about it.
Someone was saying, parade traffic in Chicago is awful. You're like, no, dude, you're not really thinking.
You're missing the point.
You're thinking too much about it. And that's the thing. It is, I used to watch this as a teenager, and it's just fun, and it's not cynical, and there's no sort of cynicism to it.
No,
it's just a fun ride, and it will definitely be interesting. I've not watched it for many years, but I just remember watching it, and it's just one of those movies you watch with a smile on your face, right? And just you enjoy the ride, and there's a lot of sort of the stupid jokes that sort of happen throughout, but it's just fun and happy, and I think that's why I always liked it so much.
Classic 80s, that's what it is. Fun music, happy storyline. Don't worry about anything else.
This is where you want to live full time. So.
Exactly. Everyone knows that everyone's got anxiety. We're just like, let's watch something that doesn't tell us about it.
This is just put this on. It'd be better than any mental health day. Just whack Ferris Bueller.
For sure. Nice.
Yeah, so hopefully it's not completely ruined and we hate it afterwards. That would be a real shame.
I don't think it will be. I've seen it definitely within the last 10 years.
3 days.
Possibly in the last 5 hours. So I don't think it will be. I don't think it's going to be dated. I think it's going to work pretty well still. So my only concern is there are a couple of slow bits. I wonder if the pacing holds up. But I think from memory it paces pretty well, and it's not that long, right? So
it's not. And funnily enough, I mean, maybe we should just keep it for no spoilers in case you haven't seen Ferris Bueller, but presumably everyone has. No one's going to look for this podcast if they've not seen Ferris Bueller.
No.
But actually, the bit in the museum is actually one of my favorite bits, because it does allow you to take a breath, and it does feel very different to the rest of the film. But actually, I really like that scene, because it does allow you to sort of just to chill and sort of think about things a little bit more. And I always enjoyed the music in there and as well. And so
takes you back to Thomas Crown Affair as well. All of these movies are all in the same universe. If anyone didn't know, they're all the Andyverse.
They get moved out as Thomas Crown steals a painting.
Nice,
cool.
Wow.
Well, let's get it on, and we'll see you after the jump.
fun. I think I'd say it was enjoyable. It was
just good, clean fun.
Just clean fun. It's an hour and 43. It doesn't even feel like that. It absolutely skips along, doesn't it? Like it is over before it's even started. Quick. Like it's, and it's not that it's slow at any point or anything like that. But I think it's like 30 minutes in before really the day off actually starts, because he's got to pick up Cameron. And he's picking up Sloane. And so actually, I'm pretty sure about 30 minutes in before it actually really gets going. But even during that time, there's all these little things that happen, right? Like the scene with the principal on the phone, which is absolutely hilarious. And then you've got everyone phoning Ferris at home and at the school, and they're doing collections for him. So all these little things that are happening, even though his day off hasn't even started yet. So that was like really fun. But yeah, it just skips through, right? It's like gone through, and then you're like, oh, okay, that was fun. Yeah. What did you think? Because you said you hadn't seen it for a while.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I would say, like, talking to different people about it, I feel like this is the 80s film that, like, has the most goodwill behind it. Like, you mention this film to anyone who's seen it, and everyone's like, Bueller. Like, and with kind of Breakfast Club or, you know, Pity and Think or any of the other John Hughes ones, I feel like there's some people who like them, and some people, like, everyone's got their favorite other film. Like, some people like Weird Science, some people like Breakfast Club. But whereas with this, I just think it's everyone just likes this. Just likes this film, like, and it's just like everyone knows it, and like, you almost sort of puts a smile on everyone's face, because it just does skip through. It is quick, like it's. I mean, they sort of change the scenes, don't they? Every time they go back to Ferris, even in that first 30 minutes, he's changed, or he's doing something different, or he's in a different, he's in the pool, or he's somewhere else. And I just think because of that, it is fun. It is just a really just funny movie. So
it really does.
There's some great visual gags in it as well. I think like the picking the pencils out of the hair for Grace. It's just like a throwaway thing that just is just so funny.
That whole scene with her and the principal, where like they're talking about Ferris, and then the phone calls start, like that whole thing, and then she's running back and forth, and she's trying to be, I'm trying to be Edwardy. That whole scene is just absolutely hilarious.
There's a lot of hijinks that happen just because mobile phones don't exist, and you're just impersonating people on a telephone. So
it is funny though, isn't it? It works. So there you go.
I also just they established Ferris's character so early, like the fact that he actually winks at Jeannie, like when he's faking. That's the thing, that it's straight away. It's like, no, we're not saying that he is ill. Like, it's very apparent straight away that he's not ill, and he actually just winks at her. And even like the kiss in front of the school, it's just such a, like, they're doing everything they can to get caught. They just want to like stick two fingers up to Rooney, and it's just so funny.
That is crazy, isn't it? That I was like, oh god, you would never get away with that. That was so ridiculous. But that's just like the great thing about it is the whole thing is it's a little bit absurd, right? What would you do if you had a day off? And they do obviously absurd things, and people, when they get to the float scene, everyone's dancing. They've got all these people dancing down the street and things like that. Because obviously, it's an extreme that it pushes to that level, but it just adds to the fun for it all, right? Like, it just makes it all a little bit more entertaining and a bit silly, and
I mean, and as you say, like, it does just keep it going, and that's the thing. Like, each scene, like has something different in it, and that's why it's then just fun to watch.
Yeah. So you still enjoyed it then? Because I know you said you didn't watch it for a while. Was there anything that you didn't like?
For sure. The dog's a bit random. The dog seems a bit outsized for the house, and is never mentioned again. Like when they, and but it was funny. I was watching it with my wife. She sat down and watched it as well, and she's like, "Well, why did the flowers put the dog to sleep?" I was like, "No, he dropped the flower pot on the dog's head." And she's like, "Really? I don't remember that happening." And then you're like, "Yeah, that is pretty violent, actually." I'm not sure. Like, that's.
It's super unnecessary.
So you have to actually knock the dog out. You're going to be really throwing in. I think not it wasn't that I didn't like, but like I think I appreciated the dynamic between all three of them a lot more.
Yeah, okay.
And obviously we sort of talked at the beginning about kind of Cameron and Ferris, like almost sort of dual leads in a way. I think like
it does feel almost like Cameron's movie, doesn't it? Like I did kind of feel that halfway, like during the film. I thought it kind of almost is Cameron's movie, and Ferris is like his good angel, that or maybe bad angel, depends how you look at it, but that just takes him on a little journey. Because Ferris is just there as almost like light entertainment. Really, it's Cameron's, like you said, it's Cameron's journey that changes, not Ferris's.
Yeah, and I think even Sloane, to be honest with you, like watching it now, I think she gets a bit of a bad rap where people are kind of like, oh well, she's like pointless, and there's a story about John Hughes sort of not really bothering writing her character, but actually I think like in the background, and like she is the person who's comforting Cameron, and sort of. Like she and her and Cameron are in sort of a similar place, and like they don't know what's going to happen, but then because she's the year younger, she's not worrying about the end of high school, and I think that's a really like good dynamic. It was just like, okay, well, we're going to be gone, and then we're going to go to college, and are we going to have a relationship anymore? Like what's going to happen to the friendship and stuff? But her sort of view on it then is just sort of allowing Cameron to kind of talk about it and be sort of a sympathetic ear almost, because Ferris isn't going to be like that, and Ferris kind of has the camera because he talks to you through the camera, but Cameron also needs someone, and then that's Sloane. And I think in like a lot of the scenes where they're going to get caught or something's happening, actually, like especially the two of them are just quite good in the background, sort of being worried about getting caught or sort of reacting to what's going on. I kind of paid a bit more attention to them in the background of scenes, and I do think that they just do really, really well. And I think, like, even funnily enough, when they go and get Sloane and the nurse comes in and she's already putting in her jacket, she's already putting on her jacket. She does. And she just like looks at her mate and she's just like, here we go. And then they're like, Sloane, and she's like, oh, me? Oh, why? What's going on? So
I think you're right. I think you need a trio. I don't think it would work as well as a duo. I think if you just had the two of them, like, you just
keeping you up.
Yeah, probably. I think like the trio really works, because otherwise, like, just having like, because obviously Ferris is always going out, just like he's everywhere doing different things, moving around in and out of scenes. I think if you just had like him and Cameron or him and Sloane, it doesn't work. I think you're right. You have like the interplay of Sloane and Cameron, and then you have like this like flick into the craziness of Ferris and then back to them. And I think you needed that trio to keep the film moving along. Otherwise, it would kind of feel like Cameron's just like by himself, like, this guy just looks like he is ill and he wants to go home. Like, it would be. I think this is some kind of torture.
Ferris is just dragging him all over the place. But that's the thing, like, because it is almost, Ferris is almost doing it for Cameron. Like, that's the thing. Like, when he's obviously like and he's not ill and he's at home and he's gonna have a boring day, and Ferris is like, no, almost as a friendship thing of like, no, I'm gonna get you out and have a day that you're never gonna forget. And like, then obviously when he's talking to the camera about, these are the last days when we're going to be able to do this, because we're going to both have to get jobs over the summer, and then we're both going to go away to college and stuff. And I do think it's like that's kind of, I think, where this one hits. We said at the beginning, like, it's not a high school movie. It is like, it's an end of high school movie. It's not about being in high school, though obviously the teacher scenes are like the most famous scenes from it, and it just super good. But it's kind of the like what happens after high school. That's kind of more what the focus is on, which I think is interesting.
And I do think that we'll come on to it, but the sort of similar films was challenging from that perspective, because it isn't like you couldn't, it's not like we discussed in the first one, right? It's Breakfast Club isn't for me a good example, because it's not the same, it's different, and so it's it is quite unique.
Well, it's actually almost and that's the thing, like, it's almost, and it's not a good comparison for film, but it's kind of the same as Grease, isn't it? Because Grease is actually like them graduating out of high school, even though they're all like 42 in the film.
But quite like, obviously
it
so.
Is that kind but it is that like, it is that kind of moving on and stuff, which I think is then why it also it does hold up, because obviously, like, high school is different, but actually that feeling of leaving high school is still the same. Even even with, I'm sure, like, people are more in touch now than they were before, because everyone's got phones and stuff. But still, there's just but we're not going to be spending the same amount of time together, because we are going to go and get a job, or we're going to have other responsibilities. And I think that, like, that's, again, like on the poster, like the fact that it says, like, it's one man struggled to take it easy, rather than one child, or one kid, or one teen. They do say one man, which I think is
interesting.
Like an interesting one for it.
Yeah. Was there anything new that you noticed at this time?
Well, apparently kidneys only cost $50,000 in the 80s. I'm not sure. I don't know what a kidney would cost you now, but that seems quite.
I did notice the number plates of the cars this time. I don't know if you noticed that. So Cameron's dad's one is he's nervous. I was like, that's crazy. That's fun, isn't it? And then I think that his dad's one was Mum. I'm sure it was like Mom.
Oh
yeah. But that was quite funny as well. I mean, that scene when he's running alongside him as well.
Nervous.
The nervous thing is so clever, because you're like, hold on a minute. So, like, and that's especially after you were saying at the start, where it's like the whole sort of Fight Club for Cameron. I was like, is this his dad's car? Is it actually Cameron's car? It's like, am I my conspiracy theory in my own, like, podcast here?
Is it actually his dad, and he's murdered his dad at the end? Who knows?
But
when they're in the tallest building in the world scene, there are two people at the other window wearing very odd hats. They're like hats with like feathers coming out of them. Honestly, go back and watch that scene and just try and figure out what those people with the hats on. I was looking at them just being like, what is that supposed to be? Is there like a deleted scene? Or did some people with just really random hats just wander into the scene?
Couldn't get rid of them.
So I do think I appreciated more this time when he's talking about the baseball, and he's like, oh, who's winning? Or he says, oh, it's 1-1, bottom of the third, and he says, oh, who's winning? And so then he says the Bears, which is obviously the American football team, rather than the Cubs, which is the baseball team. And I thought that was it's a nice nod to the fact that everyone thinks that Rooney's ridiculous,
an idiot,
a bit of a dweeb, and so it's not just the kids, it's just everyone. So I like that. And then I thought, I mean, the inspiration for Home Alone. Like just obviously, this is Home Alone like, in a lot of ways. I think a lot of the gags they sort of they get ready for this.
The dog, Well, as you said, the plant pot on the dog's head. So and obviously the little the things that he has in his bedroom and the keyboard and stuff. Well, funnily enough, that's one of the things that I wondered about dating the film. The posters on the wall. Talk me through your teenage bedroom walls. What posters were on there? I'm pretty sure I had a car thing, which was weird because I'm not really a car person at all, but I'm pretty sure I had like a Lamborghini. I think I had a Friends poster. I used to love Friends when I was younger. And then I can't remember. I would have had some movies, but I can't really remember now. Like, definitely randomly had cars, which is really weird because I'm not a car person at all. So,
you've been given that poster. You just thought you'd put it
like,
up.
Poster's good enough. Don't need a real thing. Yeah.
Well, it's a bit like, and it's the same in Princess Bride, isn't it? With sort of the backdrop in the room. I do think that those teenage years where you do have just posters, because you're trying to express yourself, and so it's like having all of the posters on the walls and stuff. I think is super
good,
funny, and I think that's good.
They should bring them back. Posters are great, especially like you said, as a teenager and stuff. It is definitely a way to just illustrate a bit of who you are in your own little way in your room, right?
I mean, I presume the teenagers still put posters on the walls. Yeah,
time will tell.
Well, please leave.
Let us know.
Leave comments. Leave
All you
a comment on the
teens.
pod if you're a teenager and
that are listening now.
Wait, this has gone a bit strange. I think we should move on. I did. I don't know whether you noticed, but the teacher teaching economics is talking about how raising tariffs in the US doesn't work.
Oh wow!
And I thought that's very relevant. They talk about the fact that they raised tariffs in the Great Depression because they thought it was going to get them out, but it doesn't. And then the voodoo economics is because if you raise tariffs, demand goes down. So actually, people who think the tariffs will create more money, actually, I think it's Reagan or it's Vice President Bush says actually like that doesn't work because at some stage demand then falls because things get too expensive, and that's what they're explaining is something economics, something do economics, voodoo economics. Voodoo. Yeah, so I thought that was great. Even on Ferris Bueller is saying
there
that
you go.
Tariffs
it's still up to date. So. Yeah. However many years, 40 years on. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That
Was there anything else that you thought particularly dated? Anything that raised a smile?
I think it's just like it is. I just put like it is of its time, right? It represents what high school was like at that time in that sort of part of the world. So I think it's a very fair reflection of that. And I think if you can stay in that, then that's fine. I think if obviously there are things about it, you could be like, well, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that, it doesn't have diversity in the cast and things like that. But I think it probably, whether, not that it was a good thing, but I think it's probably a reflection of what it was at that time. So I think that, I think if people watching it now, they'd probably think that part is dated. But yeah, other than that, it's all just, it's just that 80s movie, isn't it? It's just silly, fun, moves it along. As we've said on so many 80s movies, you just suspend belief because it's like they didn't have the time to put the narration in to take you from A to B or the desire or whatever it was. So you just made the leap. They didn't bring you on the journey. You just you came on it yourself. So
you just jumped on the bus and kept on going. All the cars I thought were great. Like especially the mum's car, like the station wagon.
Yeah,
it's made of wood.
Yeah,
I think that's so funny, isn't it? That's,
and
funnily enough, my wife was like, "Oh, look at her shoulder pads. What was that all about? Why were there so big shoulder pads?"
It's so fun, isn't it? The 80s fashion was so bizarre, but I'm sure it'll come back in. These things always seem to come around, don't they? What about the
your shoulder pads are looking good?
I mean, in Australia, it's like still rife. Everyone wears them all the time. What about the deep fakes then? I was interested to hear what you thought on this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't have them.
Is Broderick cool? That was the thing we were talking about in the part one, right?
Yeah, well, I think that Broderick is cool in this film. Whether Broderick is cool overall. So funnily enough, also I heard that Emilio Estevez passed on Cameron because he didn't want to be in any more John Hughes movies.
And I think the whole Brat Pack thing.
Yeah, and that would have been like weird because obviously Cameron isn't. Emilio Estevez is too cool to be Cameron.
Probably, yeah.
So what I thought would be funny is to just deep fake the four of them in like to really like background roles. So I had Gosling and Stone as the kids on the phone at the high school.
Oh yeah.
Keanu as the maitre d' in the restaurant,
and then
Patrick Swayze. And then Patrick Swayze just as the parking attendant's mate, like the other guy who gets in the film.
Yeah.
Just to like deep fake Patrick Swayze, and people will be like, "Is that Patrick Swayze?" And you're like, "No, I didn't notice it."
I don't think so. Looks like
I think that's what I'm going to do with my deep faking now is just put really famous people in the background as characters. So
it's going to be so good when we're older and like just sitting in old people's homes. It'd be like, Siri, can you put this actor in this film playing this role and play it at 5,000% decibel because I can't hear anymore.
Cop number 3, please make it be Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah. Oh, see, good.
How about you then? Did you go for? Did you think they would work as the main characters?
Well, I
don't
thought
know.
you could do Gosling as Ferris, and then you do Stone as Sloane, and then Keanu could be Cameron. I think that could work, and it'd be Keanu from like old school Keanu. It'd have to be like from doing Ted type as Cameron. And I think Gosling can pull off Ferris, and then I think Stone's pretty good at anything, really, isn't she? So she'd be fine.
Yeah, I don't think Gosling's cool enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or not like
you
cool
don't
enough
think
in that.
Gosling's
Like,
cool. What about in what's the film? I was literally just looking at this because it was in at the high end of my Crazy Stupid Love. He's really cool in that.
Yeah, but no,
he's super cool in that.
But like. But again, he's just about to cry in every scene. He's the vulnerable chord. Well, the thing is, but they would have to be teenagers, so it would be would be like Disney Club Gosling, and just.
You think he'd be too clean cut?
Yeah, he was not. He was not cool. He was not cool at that stage. I don't think.
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay, so. I'm going to move forward a little bit because I want to ask you this thing because this links in. So my double feature was The Cable Guy, and then
wow, that would be heartbreaking to watch Ferris Bueller and then The Cable Guy. You'd be like, what happened to him? What happened to Ferris? Wow, that must have been a really bad divorce from Sloane.
Yeah, when he left high school, it did not go well. Well, this is my question, and this sort of
never peak in high school. Never peak in high school.
Yeah. But that's the thing is,
we're coming into our prime now.
Yeah, exactly. We're just on the top. That's what I wanted to watch. Like you watch Broderick as Ferris, and then you watch Broderick in The Cable Guy, and it's like, is he better and more adept to playing a cool guy, or a not cool guy? And obviously a cable guy. And I think those two films really were showing two completely different sides of Broderick. And I guess I don't know. Is that just shows that he actually has really good range? Because I do think he pulls off the coolness of Ferris, but then, like we talked about in part one, pretty much every other film he's in, he's not cool at all, and like easily not cool.
I think he peaks, doesn't he? And
oh my god,
from a coolness point of view,
troughs.
It was funny because I was listening to the rewatchables version of this, and they were talking about like the what's it called, the mountain one, where it's like what is this peak Broderick? And they mentioned the producers, funnily enough. And when he was in the producers on Broadway, that was the biggest thing going. Like that was Hamilton-esque back in the day.
Yeah, okay. So
and he obviously has done a lot on stage. But again, like the character that he plays in the producers is not cool. Like it's like someone who's in over his head.
Yeah.
And it is just bizarre because this is definitely has a shout at like the coolest teenage character of all time.
Yeah.
And then he just don't know what happens.
Yeah. It's like Swayze. Can you imagine if
he goes through a growth spurt or something?
It's like, can you imagine if Swayze suddenly like became like super uncool and he started doing like really weird films? You'd just be like, what has happened to? You just can't picture that he could get to that level of like uncoolness.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I just don't think Swayze would be able to get to that level of uncoolness. I think that would be he was just cool. So I don't. It's a tough. I don't even know how old Broderick was in
23
in this film,
when he did this. I checked.
Right.
Out.
Okay.
So not like super
tough
old.
into the 20s.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like here, that's what this confuses me. This film because he is so cool in this film, and yet he's uncool in every other film he's in. And anyone else you think of, you're like, I don't know. Is Broderick just that good an actor? or like, if I don't know what. So that was why. That was sort of like the deep faking, and then when I was like sort of the questions I had on. To your point, this is probably one of the coolest and most iconic characters of the 80s. I'd say. It's got to be up there with Back to the Future, I would say. Marty McFly.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah. I wonder, was there a was there a film where he tried to be cool and wasn't? I wonder, like, was there like that?
Yeah,
Is there a film that is the switch from one to the other, and then people are like, oh no, he's not.
He can't do it.
He's not cool. I don't know. I don't.
Funny one.
What are the ones?
Yeah. He literally, like, I looked at his back catalogue, and after this, it's just off a cliff. It's just a complete cliff.
It's bizarre, isn't it? It really is. Project X, which is the one they did after this. I remember that, and that was good. We're about the monkey going up to space and stuff. Yeah. But then I don't think I've seen. Yeah. I think the next film that I've seen from him, I mean, we take out The Lion King. It probably is Cable Guy, which is like 12 years later.
Yeah,
I've not seen any of these.
Bonkers.
Out on a Limb, Glory, The Freshman, Torch Song Trilogy.
I mean,
what the hell is this?
What
Family Business. Just he's in a film with Sean Connery and Dustin Hoffman, and neither of us have ever heard of it. That is amazing. Like, how bad must that film be if it's got Sean Connery, Dustin Hoffman, and Matthew Broderick, and we've literally never heard of it? Wow.
It must be bad.
And it's directed by Sidney Lumet as well. Jeez, like,
wow, mate, you've got to watch this. That should be on your top 100.
Family Business. We'll I'll have a watch. We'll put it on after this, and then we'll talk about it next week. So we skipped the question. I do have a question for you because this was the debate that was raging on our side of the shop, because obviously we're at the shop, but between me and my wife, and that is Ferris a good friend for Cameron or not?
Okay, I think yes, because he's pulling him out of his shell into experiences that he normally wouldn't want to do, but you could argue it's also just getting him into trouble.
Yeah. See, that was the argument, exactly that. Where I was like, no, it's good for him. He, like, gets him out and stuff. And my wife was like, no, he just gets him into trouble. And like, actually, he'd be fine, just left to himself. I was like,
better grades. No, he'd have a different number plate. He
literally says he has the best day of his life. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But then obviously, that's the thing. Is it the angel on his shoulder or the devil on his shoulder? I guess if you believe in the Fight Club theory.
And there you go. So this film just keeps on giving. Like, I can see kids like in universities like doing assignments on this now. Is Ferris the angel or the devil? I don't know.
Yeah, he does kill the car, but so I mean, obviously the character that you most want to be is Ferris.
Yeah,
like,
obviously,
completely. Do you have a second though? Do you have a backup? I mean, I see you as a young Charlie Sheen, Phil, but
I must say, I felt like he was in it more. I mean, I remember him being in it, but I was like, his scene is like it goes in like a flash. It's like gone, isn't it?
It is one of the all-time best cameos.
Yeah,
because he's so really cool, not in it very much.
No,
but he's so
really impactful.
And just the whole conversation. Drugs?
Yeah.
No. I mean, are you in here for drugs? No, I'm not. Why are you here? Drugs.
Yeah, it's just brilliant, and it's also deadpan.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Grace was
Grace
pretty good, because she's so sarcastic to Rooney, and he's not getting it. He thinks that they're like on the same team, but she's just constantly having a go at him, and he just doesn't realise. I think that's brilliant.
That is, honestly, I must say, looking back on it now, like, it probably wouldn't have been when I was younger, but the scene in the office, I think, is one of my favourite scenes. It's just brilliant. And when he's got his feet up and he's talking to Sloane's dad, and he's like, why don't you bring a corpse down here and let me see it, and you can and then she's like, Ed, I've got a Ferris Bueller online too. And you're like, and it's just brilliant. This is so good.
It's so funny, because you just know as well that like that they've been stood there, and he's like, oh, I'll call him on another line, and he's like, he's not pretending to be ill, is he? He's just like, oh yeah, can you get my sister to bring back anything? Thanks.
Yeah. And it's so good. He waits until he really digs himself into a massive hole, and he's like, okay, Ed, okay, now let's have a chat about it.
Right, just the ideas, and that's the thing. But she's so great in the scene when he's like, "Oh, well, I wouldn't trust him as far as you can, as far as I could throw him." And she's like, "Well, you shouldn't throw anyone with your back." and then he's like, "Oh, you know," and then she's like, "Oh, he makes you look like a dick," is what he does. And she's just constantly like undermining him, just a little by little, and he just doesn't know about it at all. I think she's such a funny character in this.
She is really good, yeah. What about lines then? Yeah. I mean, there's so many good lines in this, but yeah, any of your sort of top ones?
I mean, I think we have to go through the whole ism one. I think it's actually pretty profound. Where he says, "Not that I condone fascism or any ism for that matter. Isms, in my opinion, are not good. A person should not believe in an ism. He should believe in himself." I quote John Lennon: "I don't believe in Beatles. I just believe in me." Good point there. After all, he was the walrus. Yeah. I could be the walrus. I'd still have to bum lights off people. And I think that it's such a because it's such a perfect, like, that is actually quite profound. And at the same time, he's quoting like a pop star or like a rock star, which is such a teenage thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I know, it is good,
but also John Lennon wasn't the walrus, because they say the walrus is Paul, but that's always up for debate.
Oh, okay.
I think it's funny when he says about licking his palm. It's a little childish and stupid, but so is high school. I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's like, "Oh, I want to go to a good college and live a fruitful life." Exactly what every parent wants to hear.
Yeah.
And then I do that. At the end with Cameron, and he says, "I'm not going to sit on my ass as the events that affect me unfold to determine the course of my life." I was like, "That's a pretty profound
that is
statement
profound.
by him. Like, you've got to get involved."
Yeah.
And then I do that again with Grace. I do think it's great when Jeannie comes in and she's just like, "Hello, Jeannie. Who's bothering you now?"
Yeah, like they know her so well. Yeah. So good. Even her character's good as well. I mean, she just adds a little bit.
Yeah,
like, they don't delve into it too much of her being annoyed or not being annoyed. They just sort of added that little dimension to it, a bit of fun to it, and then moves on at the end.
And then
as well.
because again, that resolution with Charlie Sheen of like, she's so mad all the way through.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so you're annoyed that you haven't ditched.
Yeah.
That's what you're annoyed at. And it's like to resolve it like that in like a complete subplot of a subplot.
Yeah.
It's just great, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're just like, it is.
She's all of a sudden she's happy and she's like, I get what you do, Ferris. So like I heard this, all of a sudden she's like, I see what just being happy is actually quite fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, snog one bad boy, and all of a sudden life's so much better.
Yeah.
Did you have any others?
I mean, obviously there's all the classic ones, but I didn't go through any of them. But there was one where they're going through the school and they're talking about Ferris, and one of the kids goes, "Yeah, I've heard if Ferris dies, he's going to give his eyes to Stevie Wonder." I don't remember that line at all, but that was quite a good one. And then there was a few others, but there was like the one at the end. I mean, the credit scenes at the end credits is just amazing. I mean, Marvel. That is how you do a post-credit scene. It is incredible. But yeah, and then the kid on the bus says, "Oh, I bet you've never smelt a real school bus before." And it was like, as if he's never been on them before. Yeah.
She's so funny. She like hands him the sweet, and she's like, "Oh, it's been in my pocket, so it's all warm." You're like, "Oh, it's just disgusting."
It's bad. Yeah.
So what about anything for the pod?
Well, I think it had to be. The question isn't what aren't we going to do. The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what are we going to do. So I think that's the kind of dynamicism that we brought to the world with our podcast.
It's a very eclectic list. I mean, I just had I weep for the future. I think.
Wow. Season 2. Yeah. Understandable.
It's coming. It's coming in fast.
It's the comeback.
or best day of my life, going to miss you guys next year.
Oh,
I think, you know,
yeah. As we come to the end,
we'll see. We'll see if the same listeners stick around for season 2. It might be a whole new demographic. Reviews, quite a few 3-star reviews.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of them sort of goes to really show the mix that you get in a 3-star review.
Yeah.
One person, 3 stars. This film is one of those you have to watch. What a brilliant film! Quite a teen movie, but well worth it. Love it. Bueller, 3 stars.
Yeah.
And then someone else said, I was told this movie had a worthy if somewhat quirky presentation. In fact, it is only mildly amusing and wholly bereft of any significance. Save your money. Also 3 stars. I feel like those two people have a different scale that they use to judge films.
I'd hate to see that person's 1-star film. That would be really bad film.
This is why you can't trust any reviews, because someone loved the film and gave it 3 stars, and someone hated the 3-star
review, isn't it? Like, so many people have missed out on these, and I think we're bringing a new insight to everyone in the world of the world of 3-star reviews on Amazon.
They need to get involved. Someone got a bit confused about how star ratings work, because they said, I would give it 3 stars for content, but given the aforementioned context, it probably deserves at least 4.
Random.
Well, give it 4 stars then.
Yeah.
You can't say in a 3-star review that actually it should be 4 stars. And more people will read it if it's got 4 stars.
Yeah. Random.
Talking about the debate that's been raging, someone says, unfortunately, Matthew Broderick doesn't have the chops to play this role. Spineless, no personality, no emotion. He's a bit of a cuckold.
What?
I don't know where they've pulled that one out from.
That's.
But yeah, obviously, like that's just wrong. Like
how? Like
Matthew Broderick,
everyone loves him. Everywhere. Like it's bonkers. Yeah. Bizarre.
Yeah, no, that's wrong. And then a little heartwarming or not heartwarming story to finish from the 3-star reviews. Revisiting our teen years of the 80s with our teen daughter, who wasn't too impressed by fashion, etc., still kept us sat together for a couple of hours for a change.
It's a sad state of the modern family lifestyle.
Clearly, those guys don't hang out that much. So you had Cable Guy just to show the descent into
the 2 sides of Broderick,
mediocrity.
Yeah, what did you have?
I thought another just feel good movie. Keep the feel good vibes going.
Yeah.
After Ferris, you would just have another like ultimate feel good movie. Just watch Chef again.
Oh my god. How it's done well and executed, and how it's executed poorly.
You'll be waiting for the post credit scenes in Chef as well.
Yeah.
So then, what have you got for the Algo?
Well, yeah, I think it's like we said, it is a little bit difficult. Like you could easily have said like Breakfast Club and things like that, but I'd try be a bit closer to Ferris, and as you said, it's kind of an adult's version of almost like high school-ish. So I was trying to think more of that sort of slightly more adult film, but still like the adventure. So the few that I came up with was Adventures in Babysitting, which is similar, that sort of, you're that age, but it's something a bit more adult that happens. Risky Business, sort of. And I thought Van Wilder as well. I think that's actually quite, even though they're sort of at college, because Ryan Reynolds' character is so young, he may as well be at high school. Because they always play that down.
So the Algo went Risky Business as well.
Oh, okay.
Had Fast Times at Richmond High, which I think is
I don't know this.
They're sort of almost a carbon classic. And actually went for Teen Wolf, which I thought Teen Wolf was actually a good shout, because it's just that fun. Yeah, because it's fun. It's a bit silly, but it's
I guess so.
Yeah, but it's watchable. I thought that's because that's the thing. It's not. Don't take it seriously. He turns into a werewolf.
Teen Wolf definitely doesn't take it seriously. It's like, all of them is a wolf.
It's just
no one's scared. Everyone's happy because he's good at basketball.
I mean, that's why I started playing basketball. Just because I thought that it was
just getting too
maybe
hairy.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good shout because I do think it's like,
fair enough.
and again, I think there's I mean, would Michael J. Fox playing this character, playing Ferris, would that have been too much? Would that have been too much cool? But it would have been interesting to see. That would be a great deep fake.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah. That would be really interesting because he brings a different element of cool, doesn't he? Michael J. Fox. That would be very good.
Yeah.
Well, someone make that.
It's like that same. It would be like maybe switch them around. Put Ferris Bueller's Matthew Broderick in Back to the Future.
Oh wow!
And move Michael J. Fox over to Ferris Bueller.
That's interesting. Actually, I think you're right. Ferris Bueller Broderick could have done, I think, Back to the Future as well.
Yeah,
but then you're right. You look further on, and you're like, he couldn't get anywhere near
business.
Yeah, that would have been
he gets to work with Sean Connery and Dustin Hoffman, but
all good.
That's about it. Yeah.
Well, so we've finally made it. We've got to the top 10. It is number 10. Where's it going?
I mean, obviously, so 10 has already gone with Return of the King, and I'm sort of locking that one in. So it does mean that there will be one of the top 10 that will fall out of the top 10.
Wow.
I feel, it's almost like a quote from Lord of the Rings. One day, one of the top 10 will fall out of the top 10. Today is not that day.
Oh.
So it's gonna stay in. It's gonna go to number 9.
Nice.
I think it just for everything that it kind of stands for, and I have really clear memories of like getting home and putting this on and watching it in my living room, and I can like remember times when I've watched this throughout school. I do just think it is just super fun. Funnily enough, didn't watch it with my daughter, but then was thinking we should watch it because I think she would appreciate it in a couple more years, probably a bit better. Like once she's bored at high school, she'll probably appreciate it a bit more, and it would be a bit of a shame to watch it now. But again, I think like I do think it stands up and is just sort of I think it's just just a test of time. I think will be good for it. So I feel like I've got to have, this is the only 80s movie in the top 10 as well, and I do feel like there's got to be an 80s movie in there. So
it's got to be an 80s movie in there. It'd be sacrilege if there wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on. Yeah, the best decade.
So I'm keeping this as number 9.
Yeah.
But I mean, something's got to snap.
It's got to give. What's going to happen? I mean, guys, tune us next week. Who knows what's going to happen?
This is getting down to down to the action time now.
Yeah.
I mean, 80s. We know how much you love the 80s. Where's it going for you?
Yeah, it's in the very good section. So I did debate where exactly to put this. I was like, is it better than this? Is it better than that? And it's difficult because it's so good, but it's so short, but it's perfect with that shortness. So I think if you start putting it up against a film that's a bit longer that's still good, I'm like, that's probably got a bit more to it because it's held it together longer. Not to say that there isn't anything that I don't love about this film. I think this film is great. But so I put it in a very good section, but at number 15, so below Malcolm X and above Illusionist.
Lower.
So
it's lower than I thought it would be.
I know, I did think, but then I was like, like Cuba and the Two Strings, I hadn't seen that before, and I did find that was at like number 11, and I thought, that was a very good film. And then there was The Lunchbox, I'm like, but then The Lunchbox was really good, and then I really did enjoy The Big Sleep. I thought, as to your point, like don't worry too much about the plot, but the just how that's pulled together, and that's a longer film.
The Empire Records of noir.
Yeah, but that's held together longer, right? I think that's a more complex film held together. So I was like, I do love this, but really, it was hard. I honestly, it could have been number 10, and it could have been an equally. It ended up at number 15. So loved the film still. It was great and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, there's just too many good films on the list. Is basically
there's too many good films in exactly in this section. There's just too many.
Awesome, cool. Well, it's nice. We continue on next week. There's a lot of quotes I could have taken, but I went for anybody want to grab a couple of burgers and hit the cemetery as a nice classic. I think we'll finish up now, but let's put on Family Business and see what Dustin Hoffman, Sean Connery, and Matthew Broderick have to say.